Good evening and welcome to Field Talk. I have a problem. Give me a minute. It would appear since the power went out, this. Okay. Well, shucks, guys. This is a little bit of a problem. Oh well, we will go with this shot. I don't like this shot very much. The Field of Bears Twitter account has been Thanos'd away. Bam, gone into the dust. And I will tell you why. It is because Jack Dorsey is a jerk, and I dislike him very, very much, and I think he should go jump in a cold lake, preferably naked. Howdy, welcome everybody. First off, the very awful bad news, the best account on the Twitter has been banned. The very best, your daily reminder account is gone forever. Why? Because Twitter hates me. Why do they hate me? Well, because I despise socialism and I revile pedophiles, that's why. Yes, I don't like using this camera, but apparently the other camera isn't working. I'll have to figure that out later. I forgot, the power went out last night. And since the power went out, I don't know what's gone wrong. Thank you very much, Dom. I need all my bears, all my dudes, everyone, please go ahead and take over the very, very important job of reminding everybody every day that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. By the way, welcome to Field Talk. I am the Field, also known as Field of Bears, formerly known as Field of Bears, here to remind you that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. There we go, there's the intro. Now the very, very first thing that we should do is remember that we have alternative tech, alternative platforms, and I am on both Minds and on Gab, and the links to those places are in the description below, and they're in the description of every video, so go ahead and follow me there. Now, as you can see, I continue to wear my war hat, and that is because Alex Jones continues to be persecuted, and also me now. Fantastic and lovely. I do not know why my account got banned. I had no notice, no warning, no nothing. I had been saying very polite things to people for the past, the entire time that account was running. I hardly ever even used profanity. But, however, politeness and offensive, sometimes you get to be offensive while being polite, which is what I tend to do. Video output low. I only have 7 watching every day. Oh, golly. What? Do you mean the socialism word? I did keep on saying that one. How dreadfully awful of me to be telling the truth about socialism. You know, they did try having collective ownership in ancient Athens, and it didn't work very well. And they tried having collective ownership again in Plymouth, and it didn't work very well. They tried having collective ownership again in Jamestown. Actually, that might have been congruent with Plymouth, but it didn't work very well there either. And then they tried having collective ownership in, where was that? Oh, Paris. Paris. You know, after they were done guillotining all of the Catholic priests, they tried collectivizing ownership in the Paris Commune, and that didn't work out too well. And then they tried having collective ownership again in the Soviet Union and the satellite bloc. And in all of those places, it didn't work very well either. And they tried having collective ownership in Deutschland twice, and it didn't work very well either time. They tried just having private property. Hello, Captain Cutler. They tried just having regular old private property in West Germany, and it worked out great. And then they tried having collective ownership again in China, and it didn't work out very well. And they tried having collective ownership again in North Korea, and it didn't work out so well. And then they tried having collective ownership again in Vietnam, and it didn't work out so well. And they tried having collective ownership in Vietnam again, it didn't work so well. And they tried having collective ownership again in Venezuela, and it didn't work out so well. Point is, every single place that they have ever tried in all of recorded history, ever, collective ownership, aka socialism, it has always, every single time, ended in starvation and genocide. Hello, Yukon Bear, and welcome. And that was my central message. And my other central message is, having sex with children is bad. Wanting to have sex with children is still bad. And saying it's okay is also bad, because you're wrong. And I think those are the things that got me banned. Yes, yes. Hello, Nirat. Yes, every single time. Not real socialism, just like those Catholic priests. What state is this in? I know that we had another one of these. Yeah, actually, you're right. So one of the brothers of the current kings in Saudi, the current king in Saudi has a big share. You know, one of the ones who didn't actually get arrested and tried for corruption, though, which is weird because Saudi is just Pennsylvania. Thank you, Andrew. Right, just like the priests in Pennsylvania weren't real pedophiles, I guess. Yeah, and just that's not real socialism. I think that's going to be our new thing for not real socialism as well. I guess those priests down in Pennsylvania weren't real pedophiles because real pedophilia, blah 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 blah. Yes, socialism is always bad. It's bad at the root of it, and I'll tell you why. It's based off of theft. Theft can never be a universal good, ever. Because if you want someone to have something of yours, then that's a gift and it's not theft. But if they come along and take it from you against your will, that means you had better use of it. Or at least you thought you did. And who's to say who can make the best use of someone else's property? Only the owner can make that kind of decision. And so, having a system based around the idea that theft can be a universalized good is entirely impossible. It's contradictory a priori. Well, yes, Yukon Bear, I guess it does need to be called Captain Obvious because I've been banned again. And remember what I got banned for the first time, saying that if you want to... Look, I made the commitment to not cuss on the show so that it can be listened to with your chillins in the room. And, well, I guess the concepts tonight probably you don't want your chillins listening to. But, you know, cuss warning ahead. The tweet, if you all recall, I got banned for the first time, was as follows. If you want to fuck men, that means... No, sorry. If you're attracted to men, that means you want to fuck men. If you want to... if you are attracted to women, that means you want to fuck women. If you are attracted to dogs, that means you want to fuck dogs. If you are attracted to children, that means you want to die. If you recall, that is what got me banned the first time. Twitter. And that is what catapulted me from a 200 follower account to a 1,000 follower account after Kiwi Bear and Owen took screenshots of the tweet that got me banned and shared around my new handle, because it is just so perfect. You are correct, Captain Cutler. You can probably assume it isn't YouTube at this moment. And you're right, Lily Dilly Dog. It was awesome. It was so perfect. It encapsulated the entire argument that I had been spiraling over. I had been spiraling over this argument, and I had no one in my life to kind of bring me back from it. So I was going a little bit nuts. Just a little bit nuts, because I can't stand it when someone attempts to disprove a tautology. I just can't. They were trying to draw a distinction between sexual attraction and the desire to have sex with. It still hurts to think about it. It still hurts to think about it. And now I've been banned again for a second time. And the majority of my audience I reached via Twitter. I can't tag all my dudes anymore. I can't tag Pinder. I don't know if he's even going to catch the stream. I know Dom is here. Like, if you guys want to do me the favor of tagging all of the dudes you want to see in the chat, go ahead and do that. Hey Dax, thank you very much. Well, try turning the YouTube notifications on. You can also follow me at Gab, and I will be gabbing out the links from now on every single time, and also on Minds. Well, Captain Cutler, if you feel gay doing it, I think that says more about you than anything else. And so, I'm pretty sure that those positions, the ones that I just outlined, are the ones that have gotten me censored. Again, from the Twatter. Yes, Space Battleship. The link is down below in the description. Very easy to find. Hello, Analog Bear. I'm glad you came. Oh, that is really irritating, Dax. Very irritating. Now, some things happened while I was away as well. We had, speaking of child abuse, we had this compound in, I think it was New Mexico, where they had an RV buried in the frickin' dirt. And these kidnapped children who were being trained to commit school shootings in the name of jihad. I mean, wowee. That is, gosh, that is just. Oh, hello. I am not trying to pronounce that, but hello to you. Hey, Mayor McDeath. Yeah. So, and the thing is, like, their own kid, they killed their own kid in a ritual. And according to the wife's testimony, flipping wife's testimony, they put their child through trials to bring the prophet Jesus Christ into the world through their child. They tortured their own baby to death. And I find out yesterday, that these insane people have been let out on bail. I bet you they're just going to poof disappear into the wind now. Because this dude's dad, he was a mastermind behind the 1998 Trade Center bombing. Hashtag not real Islam, I guess. This is Those people are complete wackadoos. All right, people like that. People like that you don't release into the general population at all. They don't get bail. And even if they're like mentally insane, that's like even more reason to make sure that they never go out into the general population and they just live in a padded cell for the rest of their lives. Like, I'm sorry, we have to face up to this fact that there are some people we just cannot help. There are some people who we cannot fix through therapy or drugs or anything. There are some people who the most we can do for them is make them live as comfortably as possible in confinement. And that is the absolute best we can do. We have to face up to this fact. We have to face up to it. There are some people who we cannot help any more than that. And it hurts and it's ugly and it's nasty. But there are some people who we just are beyond solving their problems at all. And you might have a point that the left actually wants these people, these wackadoos, these severely damaged individuals who have been harmed beyond repair. Yukon Bear, you can find it on. I know you can find it on Infowars. I saw it on Breitbart, and the original story. I don't remember what the outlet was, but I followed a Drudge link. Allah is Satan. If you release the Hebrew word for God, you get the Arabic word for Satan. That is interesting, Captain Cutler. I did not know. But that, yeah. All right, Laughing Bear. Now that's not particularly fair. They just wanted to go on a bicycling adventure through the world, and they said that in their experience, most people are good. They just happened to find themselves bicycling through ISIS territory, and ISIS tends to think that bicycle adventures are super duper homosexual. So, well, I don't know that Mayor Macbeth. I thought that Allah was Halle spelled backwards. So, I mean, it is in English anyway. Halle, Halla, 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 or Halla, maybe. Yeah, well, yeah, the bicycle couple. That one was really interesting. Now yeah, I do agree with the I do agree a little bit, just a little bit with the with the Islamic State on that one. However, I disagree about stabbing gay people to death because they're bicycling through your territory. I think that is slightly barbaric, or well, incredibly barbaric. Actually, I'm not sure barbaric is a strong enough word. It's probably the most savage thing I can think of, actually. It goes straight beyond barbaric, right into savagery. Just murdering people who you think happen to be living the lifestyle that you disagree with. Because they look like it. It is absolutely disgusting. Thank you for following me on Gab. Yeah, I know. Oh, Seriton was an old name. Oh, that's funny, man, Macbeth. Now you're riffing on the Satan thing. That's funny. I like that. I wouldn't know about laxatives though, so I don't get it. That is funny. That is funny, Mayor. I like that. Impronounceable name, I don't think it's fair to call it backward, because if it were backward, then at least they wouldn't be murdering people, I guess. I think that backward is just not strong enough a word for it. Oh, golly. Fanny packs. I don't know. I guess it depends on whether they think that fanny packs are super homosexual or not. Yeah, impronounceable name. I will never go there ever, like, or any of the caliphates. I'm never going to London unless it's retaken. I'm never going to Sweden. I'm never going to Deutschland ever. It's like, Sergeant. Well, your screen name is it's got four consonants in a row. Oh yes, thank you very much, Dom. Hey, Dax. What else? What else happened while I was gone? So, oh yeah, Alex Jones' website got taken down by a DDoS attack. That was wow. Like it's not enough for these censorious, these authoritarian, censorious oligarchs, would-be oligarchs, that Alex Jones got kicked off of social media. They also want him just kicked off of the internet. Period. It's like, are we going to have to start, communicating via letter and carrier pigeon? It's like, do they really want to see what happens when you prevent people from communicating? Do they want to see what happens when you drive ideas underground? Is it like, really? Really? Wow. Yeah, bow ties are actually supposed to contrast against your shirt. Yukon Bear, and yellow and black because Ancapistan. And red plaid because I didn't iron my fancy shirts, that's why. And Captain Cutler, I don't know if they know what they're doing. I don't know about that. I think they might actually be this stupid. Yeah, and yeah, they might have been banning me for the bow tie. Massive traffic, you think might have yeah, because I've actually been listening to Alex Jones again. Now, instead of, just not listening to him, if there's nothing else to listen to, I'll open up the app and let Alex go, and it's really entertaining. I mean, I don't particularly enjoy when he just goes all rah that much. I know other people love it, but it does just kind of get on my nerves a little bit. I don't like it. No, no, no. It's not a really big B. Although that is a little bit funny. Well, it's like I have no clue. I had zero warning, zero communication, zero anything from Twitter. Nothing. But I think what it is my continued disdain for socialism and how much I despise pedophilia and the attempts to normalize it. If you remember, what got me banned the last time was that glorious tweet that Owen and Kiwi Bear spread around. So, oh my gosh, and I can't stand. And I'm seeing the pedos. They're coming back. They're swelling back up after they got smacked down from the TED Talk thing. Bam, and they're like slowly creeping back up again. And I'm seeing it, and it's just like, why? Why do people? Why? Like, there's no argument for it. There is none. If it's a mental illness, if it's a mental illness, that means it is not normal. And if it's a sexuality, that means there has to be an evolutionary or created purpose for it. And I'll tell you something. Homosexuality is apparently I don't remember what they call it, but it's like kind of extra things. Uh, where applying where it's a beneficial thing for one sex, but the gene for it can be transmitted to either sex, and apparently bisexuality or lesbianism can be beneficial for women having a more fluid sexuality. It can be beneficial for women to form lateral bonds with other women in order to help you know the communal child care thing. Now, I think I think it's a little bit spurious. It's like I don't know about that, buddy. But that's a theory, and it seems a little bit plausible, right? Thank you for following me on Gap. It sounds a little bit plausible. I don't know. I didn't look into it very much, but I did. And it has stuck in my brain. I forget the word for it, spiral or something like spur or something like that. I don't know. That's funny, Captain Cup. You want to be right in between those two girls. That's the thing. Spurious delusions, you say, Yukon Bear. I don't know about that. I don't know. Either way, I don't know. It's like I don't know how much about the born this way argument you can either go with. I don't know. It's like I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But consenting adults doing things that I don't like. I can't really have a problem with that. They're not hurting anyone. They're both adults. They're both consenting. It's fine. Yeah, Lily Dilly Dog. I think that polygamy was actually pretty common in throughout human history until monogamy basically got invented. Yeah, Captain Cutler, I don't want to get into that because I don't really care about the gays that much. Like they can be gay. I don't care. Well, technically speaking, it would make it much, much more difficult for them to have children. So I guess in a sense, you can actually technically, legitimately call it as a handicap. So I guess. Well, Mayor, you get I'm actually buds with a couple of the gays, and they're not horrible. They just like regular dudes, and they don't do anything like super gay, and they don't like constantly hit on me and stuff like that. They just like they know they're attracted to other gay dudes. Well, monogamy, it has to be like culturally enforced. So it depends on how quickly the culture developed it, right? Because you need to have a way to tie down and civilize the men in a society, and women need to have a protector and provider. But so if every man only gets one woman, that means that the women can't all just cluster on the highest status man and share him. Well, Captain Cutler, I'm pretty sure there are other psychological differences, and I am pretty sure that my gay friends are super duper damaged, but they aren't trying to gay me up, is what I'm saying, and I think that most gay people are like my gay friends. Oh, political lesbians are like some of the worst human beings I've ever come into contact with. They are just vitriolic and awful, and just horrible. They're angry at everything all the time, and the only reason that they are lesbians is because they hate men. It's like they're just horrible in general. Yeah, but the thing about the when you get the imbalance of women to men is eventually it gets corrected, and if you don't go back to monogamy instead of polygamy, what you get is unattached unattached men at the bottom of society who are basically you get incels, and they get no tempering factor from the women because men are sharp, but they need to be tempered by women so that they can be like not every man obviously is very general and not all the time, but in general, men men do better if they have the softer kind of tempering force of femininity in their lives. But if you don't, if you get a whole big chunk at the bottom of men who are just too low status to even get a chance, that's when you get troublemakers. Oh, Dax, that is really sad. But that is sort of kind of Captain Cutler. It's like women also need to be tamed by men in a certain way as well, right? Men and women need to bring out the best in each other. That's why we complement each other. We aren't in opposition to each other. There are things where femininity can go too far and be really damaging to the woman and the people around her, and there are things where masculinity can go too far and be damaging to the man and the people around him. So you do need both of these forces in general society and in your personal life, and you'll find it very rare to see a single person who is just fine being single. Um, I won't say whether or not I am because I think that there's still time for me to find a wife. I think there's still time. I might find one eventually. And I don't think they love being told that, Yukon Bear, and I'm not going. I already cussed on this stream once, but I'm not going to put that. Have a great evening, Yukon Bear. Lily Dilly Dog, femininity can be toxic, just like masculinity can be toxic if it goes too far. If it doesn't have the the tempering of the opposing force or the complementing force, if it doesn't incorporate the the um the complementing force anyway, because femininity femininity is the grace, the beauty, the gentleness of a good mother. Femininity is femininity. Bleh. Femininity, femininity. Yeah, a little bit like the some of this Star Wars. And that's actually a very good analogy, Captain Cutler. Femininity is that gentleness, the grace, the the warm hug, the hot soup, the making sure everyone is dressed and everyone has what they need, and making sure that the bandages go on just right. That is all very feminine. But femininity can also be tyrannically enforcing fairness over everything. Everyone gets one. Oh, you have two. I gotta take that away. Femininity can also be making sure that no one gets too high. That is also very feminine, and it's the ugly side of feminine. We can go off topic. I already talked about this is an hour long show. I already talked about why I'm banned from Twitter again, and I already talked about how irritated I am with censorship. But feminism is this weird thing where it takes that like sort of collectivizing, that sort of fairness kind of feminine drive, and it tries to reject the rest of femininity. It's very strange. I don't understand it. Like it rejects the gentleness. It rejects the grace. It rejects beauty itself. It rejects natalism. It rejects all of that in favor of trying to baby the world, and in favor of trying to make sure that all of the other adults are fairly provisioned. And it's very strange to me. So strange to me. Dax, The Last Jedi doesn't exist. That's not. It doesn't exist. It's not. It's not a real movie. It doesn't exist. Shut up. Yes, Nurut. Nirot. Nirut. Nirot. Nirut. Yes, when they're children. When people are children, they need to be taken care of and equally loved. When they're children. But if you reject motherhood, if you reject beauty, if you reject grace, if you reject gentleness in favor of only that, then you end up being a tyrant over adults, and it's horrible. Lily Dilly Dog, that movie took a massive dump all over Luke Skywalker, and I cannot forgive it. I don't care if the Kylo and what's her face scenes were super duper good. I cannot forgive the absolute betrayal of the character in Star Wars who is the embodiment of hope and never giving up on finding the good in even your most frightening enemies. Yes, exactly, Captain Cutler. Mutter Miracle. And babies and soy boys. Like, the worst thing is every time men get upset because they're being treated like man babies and soy boys, they get called man babies. Like like anger and upset aren't valid emotions. The only good thing, Mayor, about the Hobbit movies was the music. It was fantastic. I will listen to it all day long. It is just a fantastic soundtrack. The rest of it is just like, it's like, come on, Peter Jackson. I know you can do a good job with this. Why would you do this to The Hobbit? I was 8. I was 8 when Phantom Menace was released, and since I was 8, I thought it was super flippin' cool. But now that I'm an adult, I went and I watched it back, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Well, Space Battleship, they did build the Shire there. Yeah, those soundtracks are just fantastic. Mayer, he did a great job with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. He did a fantastic job with Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return. Yeah, and he refuses to make us a video on the history of New Zealand. Um, Wow, Captain Cutler, that sounds like a really interesting story. Do you want to come on and hang out with me on Saturday and talk about that? We can do that for our Saturday show. Hobbit space memes. I want to see Hobbit space. Mayor, I don't know about any other things that he's done actually, so I wouldn't be able to say that. No, he did. It was very good. It was faithful to the book within the 2 hours that could be allotted for a film. It was actually a very good film adaptation. Excellent, Captain Cutler. I'm on Gab. Message me on Gab. The book is set in UK. No, no, the books were not set in the UK at all. They were set in Middle Earth, a fantasy land. At REFIELD, Captain Cutler. The link is down below, also. Yeah, so maybe the Lord of the Rings was just a fluke. All right, maybe he's actually terrible, and he only did three good films. Yeah, and they built sets for the abandoned for the ruins. Well, yeah, yeah. All of the links are in the description, and there's one too. PayPal.me/Field Talk if you want to sow the field. Please do. I need money. I need money for things, guys. Money. Well, actually, it was sort of based off of the Shire was sort of based off of the UK, but Tolkien based his world off of European politics at large, and also off of the constructed languages that he made for the world. He built the world around the languages he invented for the elves and the dwarves. If you read the Silmarillion, anyway, it's pretty obvious that's what he did. I don't know if he did that in the Lord of the Rings. I know he left out a great deal in the Lord of the Rings, including Tom Bombadil, which was actually my favorite part, and the Old Forest, which was my favorite part of the Fellowship of the Ring. Gab is down. What? Son of a gun. You are correct. Gab is down. I thought that New Zealand got the films because of the wide open scenery. Ah, it's back. It's back. Gab is back. Oh my goodness. I got scared for a second there. Or is it? Hey, Space Battleship, you're on Gab. Follow back. Did, did you make an account already and forget? Yeah, but as I understand, from what I've seen, and Kiwi Bear has sent some pictures over the Twitter. New Zealand is just absolutely stunning as far as geography goes. Like, as long as you guys don't become a caliphate, you guys remain in like one of my top 10 places to visit. I'm totally serious about that. I have a dreadful desire to go and visit New Zealand just to see with my own two eyes the astounding beauty. Now, space battleship, cheap is okay. Cheap is good if it's due to free market reasons, because as we know, Canada and the U.S. have awfully constrained markets, especially when it comes to entertainment. The unions, oh my golly gosh! Did you know that it's almost impossible to start your own cinema? You actually, it's like in order to show films with Film Actor Guild members, you have to pay dues to the Film Actors Guild to have a cinema. I thought, hold on, let me check my description box then. You're right, my gab is not in the description. Huh. All right. You are correct. All right, there it is. I've put it in the thing. Well, I will drop it in the chat as well, right there. There we go. I've never heard of Little Poppies. Well, Space Battleship, are there? Is that what you guys call hikes? Bushwalks. Interesting. Now, are there? Well, Space Battleship. Maybe they do that on purpose. Just think of that. Just kind of wander off into the wilderness and never come back. I confess, a fantasy of doing that. It would be. It's like I. I think every man has this, where you want to know if you could make it. You want to know if you could just walk off into the woods with a knife and make it, and see how long you could last. I kind of have that in me, that desire to know. Hey, Kurt, yes, I have been banned off of the Twitter for no good reason at all. Probably because I keep reminding people that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. But I do think that every man has that in them. I think that every man wants to know if they can walk off into the woods with just the bare minimum of kit and make it and thrive. So I do have that kind of a I do have that kind of curiosity, that desire deep down in me. I don't know I don't know if I could last very long. In fact, I think that I probably wouldn't last very long, but you still have that fantasy up in your head. So, to end on that positive note, I think that just as New Zealand has those vast, beautiful wilderness areas, and Canada, US, Australia, many countries do. And I just came back from enjoying my own little trip to one of those areas, and it was absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I didn't It's one of my favorite places to go. There's a place called Rock Creek. And I went up and I hiked a place called Woodland Valley. And I dearly, dearly love this place. And I would like very much very, very much to show you guys the very few pictures that I did take. So I think I will go ahead and, if you will forgive the noises, download a couple of them. So here we go. Now, these images right here, this is the place where I speak with God the most intimately. Oh, there's my sister's dog. And there's my brother-in-law, but he was in the picture and I thought it was okay. And this is a place called Ruby Lake. It is nowhere near my house, Dax. And that is why I can't stop loving. I can't stop loving this dirt. I can't let the socialists have it. So I will keep on keeping on here. Because the commies don't deserve that. I think I deserve it. I think hardworking men deserve it. I think people who don't steal deserve to have that place to go talk to God. So I want to just carry that beauty in my heart for as long as it lasts. And everyone has a place like that they can go to. And it might take a few hours in the car and a good long hike to get there. Or maybe your place isn't even very far to get. Then you can talk to God in the most intimate way, surrounded by the beauty of His creation, like no other place. And you can just go there and put how it looks, how it feels in your heart, and walk away with that. And so, I'll leave you with those thoughts. If you enjoyed the stream, please hit the like button and share it around, since I can't do it on the Twitter anymore. Links to the following places are in the description, as well as the link to paypal.me/fieldtalk if you want to sow the field. Please hit subscribe if you want to join me for more daily streams. Hit the bell if you want to be notified, possibly. And everybody have a great night, and never forget that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide.